Thank you for joining me this afternoon, and we're in the book of Isaiah, or his Hebrew name is, the prophet is YAHUAH, and in the book of Isaiah, I read starting at verse 13, which I want to go back and read a few verses here. Chapter 13, starting at verse 8, or excuse me, verse 6. It says, "Howl, for the day of YAHUAH is at hand." In other words, it's right here upon us. And this prophecy was written about 700 years. The book of Isaiah, or YAHUAH, was written about 700 years before the Mashiach came to the earth. So this is a prophecy that's, say, over 2,700 years old, but it's applicable to the time frame that we're now living in. I believe that this particular verse right here that says that the day of YAHUAH is at hand is very applicable to the time that we are living in right now. That we're on the verge, the signs of indicating that we're, about this time frame is about to happen. The Messiah or Mashiach said, when you see all these signs, and of course he gave a list of different things that we were to look for about the sign of his coming. And one of those things, of course, were we would hear of wars and rumors of wars, and that there would be earthquakes. And we've seen the increase of earthquakes just in a phenomenal way. The increase of earthquakes in this time frame that we're now living in. There are just so many signs that are indicating that this time frame is right upon us. So that's why I'm led to actually teach on this, because I believe it's a message that we need to share with others. We need to have a good, proper understanding of this ourselves so we can warn others. If you don't understand what's about to happen in the next, say, few days, few weeks, few months, I believe that's how close we are to this time frame. Then you won't really be prepared. Not only you may not be prepared spiritually yourself, but there's others in your family or your relatives, your friends, that also need to be aware. So this time frame will not catch them unaware, because the Messiah stated that this day would come as a thief in the night. In other words, people would not be looking for it. They would not be aware. They would be caught off guard that it would happen suddenly upon them. Now, this is another reason that I really believe that the rapture of the church, and which is actually the catching away of those that are alive and remain, that are part of the body of the Messiah. We have not been appointed to wrath, which this time frame is definitely a period of wrath. We've already read in these verses here about this time frame being of Yahuwah's anger being released upon the earth. It's a time of judgment, and we who have partaken of the Messiah's salvation, we have been made new creatures in Yahushua HaMashiach. Then we have not been appointed to wrath. We are righteous. If you have made Yahushua your Messiah, the scripture says that him who knew no sin became sin for us, that we might be made the righteousness of Yahuwah in him. He is our righteousness. That's why we will not have to face the wrath of Yahuwah or his judgment, because we are, what the scripture declares, are the righteous ones that the scripture talks about, that those that have received the Messiah, those that have believed on him and have been born of the Ruach HaKodesh, we are the righteous ones, the scripture declares. Now, again, in chapter 13 here of Isaiah, it says that men's hearts shall melt. In other words, when this happens, now keep in mind, and we're going to go through all this, and I'll prove this to you if you'll stay with us enough of the teachings that I'm going to be doing on this, that I know that you'll be convinced that see it the way the scripture declares, that the rapture or the catching up of believers is what triggers this the day of YAHUAH. I actually believe it's the beginning part because it's a time frame that's going to catch people totally off guard. They're not expecting it. People that are outside the kingdom of Yahuwah, they're not looking for the church to be actually raptured or taken out of here. In fact, they've made fun of it. The people mock it. Even in fact, it's sad to say that even believers don't even sometimes believe it. That's pretty bad when you have a believer who doesn't believe the word. But you know, that's the way it is. Some people just refuse to believe and accept what the Scriptures has to say because they've either been taught wrong or they just simply ignore, you know, what's being said. But I believe the Scripture means exactly what it says, and we should take the Scriptures, you know, literally, you know, when it's spelled out, like it's spelled out for us to say when Paul wrote that, talking about the catching up of the believers, that we were not, first of all, appointed to wrath, and that day would not overtake us as a thief in the night. For those that know the Scriptures, for those who believe the Scriptures and are looking and watching and know the signs of the times that we're living in, then those people are prepared, and this day will not catch you unaware. See, I'm looking every day. You know, I'm thinking, I'm watching and knowing that we're on the very edge of Yahushua coming back, and so I'm prepared. I'm prepared to go, and I hope and encourage that you will be that way, and that you'll focus upon your attention upon that. You'll set your affection on things above, not on things on this earth. The Messiah, the Mashiach, he warned us to be ready. For in the hour you think that he's not coming, he shall come. So, well, I want to stop here right now. We'll pick this up on our next session. Thank you for your time today, and just be encouraged, knowing that if you know the Mashiach, you will not have to experience Yahuwah's wrath that's about to come upon the earth. Shalom.